What is up, everyone? So in today's video, we're going to talk about why you are not going to be rich just buying the S&P 500 and stocks or the index fund or ETFs in general. Okay, so let's get started. So the topic for today's video is why you should not buy especially index funds. Everyone likes to talk about index funds and why index funds will beat hedge funds in terms of returns over the long run. And the main reason why I used to be such a fan of index funds is because it's easy, set and forget. You get about 8% a year adjusted for inflation. Obviously, not right now because of the current world situation, but in general, if we're in a good economy, that is the expected rate over the long run, 8 to 10% return on your money. So if you put in $100 and in 5 years, you can expect a 50% return on your money. So it's going to be worth $150. Now, you can obviously scale this up with more money. So 10,000 would be 15,000 after 5 years. But here's the thing, right? I do believe in this principle, and it's not a question if you put money into the S&P 500, you're going to get money out in the long run. There's historical data behind that, and if you have extra money to put aside, you should definitely max out your Roth IRA because that is a no tax. It is a very easy to do no tax solution to your retirement, right? And the Roth IRA is only $6,000 a year, and it's $500 every single month if you divide that into that. That should be pretty attainable by everyone if you have a decent paying job. However, if you don't have a decent paying job, I would not prioritize this because, first of all, your money is locked in there. You're not going to be able to withdraw it. I mean, technically you can. There's going to be fees in different policies depending on what brokerage you use, or yeah, in that. But basically, if you're going to take it out, it's gonna be very bad for you in general if you're going to take it out before the ages of 59.5 years old. With that being said, when you put money into a Roth IRA, you want to think of it as that money is locked in there. You can't touch it until you retire. And this is where I really don't like that principle because let's say you only do that for your entire working life. So you work from ages 20 to 60, that's 40 years. You just put in 500 every month. And yes, if you plug it into the calculator like most people do, you will get a decent return, maybe a couple $1,000,000. But by then, when you're 60, is that couple $1,000,000 really worth, all that time or saving away all your life to do that? I don't really think so. So here's my philosophy. My philosophy is that if you are able to take that money and find a better return that is not stocks, and the most obvious type of return for this is going to be real estate and business. Now, I obviously really love business because with business, I can see higher and higher returns every month, right? So last month, I saw a 20% return on my money. That is just not possible with something like Bitcoin, stocks, probably not even real estate, to be honest. 20% on last month's return. So my capital grew by 20%, the money that I spent. Obviously, I cannot spend all of my money because I'm still finding ways where I can spend money that will equal a return back that is favorable for me. So that's the thing with business, right? You can't all of a sudden say, I want to spend $1 million and I will get 20% back guaranteed. It doesn't work that way. It's not like stocks where you can pretty much predict that you'll get 8 to 10% every year. It's simple, but business, you can definitely get a higher return. 20% is definitely low. I would say that's pretty low for someone that's operating a really lean business. You can definitely see 40, 50, 100% return over your money every single month, and it goes crazy. Now, the difficult part about business is how to put that money in and then get that same return back consistently and predictable. So that is the part where it may be hard to figure out, but I truly believe that it is still achievable by most people. That basically wraps up my philosophy, and where if you just put in money into the S&P, you will get 8%, 10% every single year on average. Now, I feel like it's super easy to get 10% on your money. $100, you can easily make 10% of that in a business, right? And obviously you can scale that to, $1 million into stocks, you can get 8%. But then if you put $1 million into a business, you might not be able to use all that $1 million and get that return. You can't just dump $1 million into marketing and always get that predictable cost per acquisition per customer, because usually the more you spend, yes, you will be dominant in that market, but the cost per acquisition, you're going to be going up and up of the buyer funnel, and the cost for that is going to be more expensive. If you don't know anything about business, then don't worry about it. It is kind of complex for most people, because if they haven't run a business in their life, then it may be hard to understand. So with that being said, here's my philosophy. Here's my philosophy recap, actually. It is that if you want to be truly rich, you can dump so much money into the S&P and then get a somewhat predictable long-term return, 8 to 10% per year. Do the math. It's very easy to calculate. Now, figure out how many years you're going to invest that for, and then take that exact money and think about it in other ways. What can I do with this current amount of capital to generate a higher return? Can I invest into real estate and get 20% year over year return because I found a deal that works, the numbers make sense, and I'm going to execute on this to the best of my knowledge? Absolutely do that over buying stocks. If you're going to be buying stocks, obviously, if you make more than enough money to max out your Roth IRA and then dump more money into a taxable account, you need to treat that taxable account as money that you can take if the opportunity comes up, because that money in that stock market, right, 8 to 10% every year. You need to change your thinking to where you can't be scared to take money out of that account and put into another investment that will get you a higher return. Obviously, I would not suggest crypto, because that is pretty stupid at this stage, because it's way too volatile. You can lose it all. You can lose 90%, 99%, but pick some asset classes that are predictable. Business, real estate are my two number one recommendations, because they are predictable, and if you know what you're doing, the returns are steady, and the growth is basically linear. With that being said, if you can't figure out how to use this money and make more than the 8% every year, then stick into the S&P. With that being said, I hope you found some value. That doesn't mean that every single YouTuber that preaches the S&P is wrong. Technically, they're right, because for the most people are not going to be starting a business or doing real estate because, well, it requires work. Not everyone is going to put in the hard work and get that return. The people that are going to do that are going to be rewarded with higher return on their money. Sometimes extremely high, 20, 50, 100, 200 plus return on their capital invest into that business or venture. Well, that is pretty much it for this video. I hope you found some value and got something to take away from this video. If you did, make sure to like the video down below, and then watch these two other videos about personal finance and investing, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.